the things he has. In this case, he's lucky because he's met up with the Maquis, members of the French resistance. So they're helping him, they're assisting him. He didn't bring his earplugs. And now he doesn't need them anymore. Here's another one of his troopers. You had members of the 82nd Airborne and the 101st finding each other. Like, what are you doing here? Got more members of the resistance back there. Some more American soldiers have formed up. There were even some British 6th Airborne Division troops mixed in with them. They were dropped all over the place. They've got the clicker that you may or may not see in use here. He's got his weapon together. And remember, the Germans are beginning to become aware that there are paratroopers jumping in to France right over top of their head. There's the Germans.
What? Oh, spell. Abn Div? I missed it. I can't really see.
All right, ceasefire on the battlefield, ceasefire on the battlefield. So the Germans that are responding to this Allied assault, there are a little bit of everything. There's some Army units, there's some Air Force units, not only paratroopers, but also a lot of the flak gunners were actually Air Force. A lot of the coastal gunners were actually naval forces. They were controlling a lot of the coastal guns, so they were what was known as naval artillery, coastal artillery. They were wearing German green uniforms, but they had gold insignia, so they were actually part of the Kriegsmarine, the Navy. There were also forces that were thrown into defending sailors who weren't on ships. Grab a gun, go out there, and start looking for the enemy. They're dropping all over the place. The 21st Panzer Division was there. They had been mauled in Africa, and they were rebuilding. They were resting in what was supposed to be a peaceful area in France. So they had a lot of old French equipment that they were training with, but that was not their regular tanks. Two-man tanks versus the German five-man Panzers with a 75-millimeter gun. They didn't have a lot of those. So it took a while for the Germans to respond and get troops back. Also, a lot of the forces that might have defended against this assault, the invasion, not only the paratroopers, but then the troops that were coming in on the beach on the 6th, those were up at the Pas de Calais because the ruse had worked. We had people like General Patton running around in England inspecting ghost armies, basically. They had balloons set out that looked like tanks and jeeps and things. So aerial reconnaissance from the Germans would say, oh, they must have 300 tanks down there. Well, they were balloons or, canvas-covered things or whatever. So the Germans thought they were coming to the Pas de Calais, the shortest distance across from England to France. So we're going to get our soldiers together real quick here. We've got our Germans with their KR-98s. We've got our paratroopers here. Do any of you guys have the little clicker? I wanted to show people that. We also have one of our British paratroopers here. There was a toy. They knew they were going to be landing at night, so they distributed this toy. It's just a little clicker. Go ahead and snap it. 1 click, 2 clicks. That was to let the guy on the other side of that hedgerow or the other side of that building know that it was a friend down there. So pretty smart. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that was done here that was pretty unique. A big airborne invasion, ultimately, you have to say it was a success, but airborne invasions are costly. After the Germans dropped on Crete, they never did another big airborne invasion again because they said there's just too many troops dying on the battlefield before they ever get into the battle, just from injuries and airborne and all. So I want to thank all of our reenactors here, members of the Maquis, the Free French. Vive la France! Our American paratroopers, 82nd Airborne, 101st Airborne, and our German reenactors as well. Gentlemen, thank you all.
Detail! 10, port, arm! Are there any veterans in the crowd? You can raise your hand, please.
Veterans, raise your hands.
From those of us who get to do this, we thank you for your sacrifice. Detail! Present! Arm! Order! Arm! All out!
Gentlemen, thank you so much.